Hi guys, welcome to my June wrap-up and my July TBR. So I read a total of 8 books this month. It's my biggest amount I've ever read. I love it. It's summer, so of course I had more time to read. And I'm super proud of myself that I got to 8 books this month. Alright, let's get right into the video. We had The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. This was a murder mystery thriller. So good. I rated this book 5 stars. It was one great way to kickstart my summer reading, kickstart my out of my book slump. This was an amazing book overall. So every day you follow Rachel and she takes this train to work and she kind of spies and just watches this house and this couple that live in this house she can see across when she rides the train. She sees them every day. She thinks they're perfect. They think they're the most perfect relationship ever. Rachel is also an alcoholic, so you kind of see addiction in this book. Then one day she sees something absolutely shocking and she sees the wife, or the girl that she spies on, disappear. She goes about trying to discover what happened herself. Her first suspect is the husband, and she just kind of goes down this rabbit hole trying to solve the murder herself, but she's kind of her memories are distorted. She doesn't remember much of what happened, so you kind of see the journey and the puzzle pieces and other people and everything like that. So I would totally recommend this book. It's a 5-star read for me. If you want to get out of a reading slump, if you want a really good murder mystery / thriller, this would be it for you. Then I decided to read a really cute summer read, which is The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walter. Oh my gosh, this was such a good book for me. This was also a 5-star read. I thought it was so cute, and I loved the relationship she formed with the groomsman. I just thought it was the cutest relationship ever. A girl who lost her sister, and her cousin's getting married, so they go down at this big place they have by a lake, and it's super pretty. And then they play this game called Assassin. Her sister always won Assassin, so right away she's like, I'm gonna win Assassin, that's my goal. And then she meets this groomsman, really cute groomsman, and she kind of gets distracted, and you see that relationship forming, as well as her trying to win Assassin and her think of her sister overall. This book was a 5-star read for me. I loved it. It was so cute, and it was a really nice flowing book. I love the cover and everything, and I just love the way this author wrote the book, and I like that the game is incorporated in a fun summer romance. Then after that, I had to pick up another romance because I was like, guys, this book was amazing. So I picked up Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I rated this book a 4-star. This was a friendship to lovers, second chance. You go back and forth from now and then point of views. So she's actually hasn't talked to him, I think about 12 years or 6 summers, I can't remember. But basically Sam, who's the other guy, his mother died. And so she's called back and she goes to the funeral and finally sees him after not talking to him. And you kind of see why they stopped talking in the first place and how the relationship blossomed from friendships to lovers. I love this book. A lot of people compare it to Love in Other Words. I have not read that book yet, but I think it's really great, and it sounded very the way she wrote this was amazing, and I loved her writing overall. I love the then and now point of view. It just kind of kept it interesting because you basically got 2 love stories in one. It was absolutely fun and amazing. So this was kind of my doozy of the month. This is the only book I actually hated reading, and it kind of made me into a slump. I didn't want to pick any other books. I didn't want to read anything else, and that was The Cruel Prince. I like fantasy. I love fantasy actually, but this was not it for me. I didn't love the main character. She kind of annoyed me. I didn't like the other main character who's supposed to be the main character. It sounds like it's a love story at the back. It's not. I wasn't expecting it to be a romance, but I mean, the back sounded like nothing really that happened in the book. I don't know. I just kind of have negative things to say about this book, so I rated it a 3 stars. The reason why it wasn't a 2-star for me is because the end actually picked up and it was action-packed. It was interesting. Yeah, I don't even really want to talk about this book. I just don't like thinking about it. So this was a 3-star for me, solely based off the ending. That's it. Otherwise, it would have been a 2 or 1 for me. Then we had another book by Carly Fortune, which was Meet Me at the Lake. It's kind of similar to Every Summer After with the then and now point of views. It was actually the first book I tabbed, and then I ran out of tabs, so I stopped tabbing, but it was kind of fun. So basically, this is about a girl who meets this guy, and they spend the whole day together in the city, and they have a really great time, and then they promise each other to meet each other a year later at her mother's resort. Fast forward to the year that they were supposed to meet at the lake, he never showed up. So Then her mother dies, and now she has to take over this resort, and come to find out, he shows up. He shows up at the resort while she's trying to take care of it because her mother just died. I did this one 4 stars as well. After I read it, it was like a 5-star read for me. Like, I was like, yes. But after sitting on it, I thought it was more of a 4-star for me. And we have the last 3 books I read this month, which was the first part of the Shatter Me series. So I read book 1, book 2, and book 3. So this is the first book. It is Shatter Me by Tahara Mafia. I don't want to like butcher her name. I just don't know how to say it. So she basically is put in this asylum because she has this touch that she cannot touch people. So you kind of go through her in the asylum and just the adventure. I don't want to say too much because this is action-packed, so don't want to say too much. She's also really always thinks about this one boy who was always there for her when she was a child. So you kind of find her wanting to look for him and search for him. So that was interesting. There's definitely a romance in this. It's like a YA fantasy dystopian romance book. It's so good. It has everything you need. I rated this book a 4-star because it wasn't as action-packed as I expected it to be, but don't worry, the other 2 made up for that. So then we had the second book, which is Unravel Me. This one was a 5-star read for me. Oh my goodness, the found family, the relationships in this book, it just kept you guessing and on your toes the whole time. I love this book so much. I rated it 5 stars. I'm not gonna talk too much about the other books because there's things that have happened and things that have happened to get to this point that I don't think if you haven't read Shatter Me 1 you should know about yet. And then I just finished Ignite Me yesterday actually. This was also a 5-star read. The relationship in this book, the romance, steamy. I loved it so much. It was so good. This was a 5-star. This might be my favorite one out of the whole series so far, but I loved it. Okay, let's get on to our July TBR. So I'm gonna grab the book that I'm currently reading because in like 2 days it's gonna be July, and I know I'm gonna probably finish this like in July, so I'm counting it as my TBR because it was originally put on my TBR. So this is K.L. Walter's newest release, which is the same author as The Summer of Broken Rules. I absolutely adore this book so far. It's super cute. So it's basically kind of another thing. It's a second chance romance and you get a little game in it. She just graduated and now she wants to be part of the senior prank, and you kind of see what happens with her ex-boyfriend and her and the relationship, and also a fun game and a prank in it. I love that she incorporates some type of game and funness because sometimes the romance can like not be flat, but you're wanting more, and the game just keeps it super interesting. The first one I have is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I'm going to a lake house this month on vacation, so I thought it'd be fun to bring like a thriller lake house book. I don't read too much of the backs of my books, so I don't have that much to say, but what from I heard about is this like an alcoholic who gets sent away to a lake house. It's kind of like the girl on the train where she's watching this family and then all of a sudden something happens. So it's kind of like that, but lake house edition. So of course I had to put the last 3 books in the Shatter Me series, which goes from Restore Me. Could we take a moment for these covers? Restore Me, Define Me, which is book 5, and book 6 is Imagine Me. So I got all of them off of Amazon except for the first and last book. This book was on back order, so I found it at Barnes & Noble as the last copy. So it worked out perfectly for me. So this one has been on my physical TBR forever. So I finally decided to put it on there, and it's Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This is a part of the Never After series. This is a retelling of Hooked, and it's like dark romance. Just sounds very entertaining for me. Then this one I saw in the YA section, and I'm going on a road trip, so I really wanted to get it. It's places we've never been. I'm gonna read this like right as I get on vacation, or like right before I go to vacation. Sorry, my dog's playing with a toy, but I love this sound of this book. It's a second chance, friendship, and then blossoms into something, forced proximity. And she goes on this road trip to California with her family and her family's friends, and he happens to be her ex-best friend, so you see their relationship blossom again and maybe into something more. So I wanted to throw in a nice little fantasy book, so I did Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book as well. People are talking about this everywhere, and I wanted to know what it's all about. Like a fairy tale kind of book. I think she has like 3 kisses. I don't know. I didn't read the back, but people rave about it, and that's all I need to know. Then, since it's also summer and I'm going on vacation, I decided to pick up The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I have yet to read a book by them, and I have like 4 or 5 books of theirs, and I just am so excited to read them. So basically, her twin sister's getting married, and everybody gets sick at the wedding. Her and the best man absolutely despise each other, but everybody gets sick on vacation during the wedding except for them. And so you see them go on the honeymoon together, and it's like enemies to lovers, and it just sounds super cute and fun. And the last book on my TBR is a little bit of a controversial book, but since I am going on a road trip and I'm driving, I have the audiobook for this, so I thought I'd pick it up now, which is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I've heard mixed reviews about her writing, either it's really good or really bad. So I want to make a decision for myself, and a lot of people say this gets them out of the reading slump, and just like an interesting read, so I want to make sure to read it. And so yeah, that is all of my wrap up and my TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe down below. I love you guys. Hope you have a great day.